Hello everyone, this is Leftos from the NLSC forums and I'm here to give you a full video tutorial of roster merge. Everything you can do in the roster merge, all the possible combinations, how to move Albys player information to ultimate base roster, how to get the rookies and transfers from ultimate base roster into the Albys roster. How to also combine Nick's 2012 rookies into your roster, and as well how to copy the Albys information into the ultimate base roster, no retro custom roster that Zhao Sming made. So this should pretty much cover all the basics, and in the end we're going to also see the roster repair options that I've added to roster merge. So let's start with the case of copying player information from the Albys roster to the ultimate base roster, which can be done even if you have just a free version of REditor. Everything you're going to see for the next few minutes only require the free version. So let me start REditor, open the Albys version 6 roster. Always make sure that the players are sorted by ID in ascending order 0, 1, 2, 3 and not by any other category. This is important. Export to CSV, pick a folder here. I've already made these folders, they're in my documents. Just some folder, create one named whatever you like. Just name it aptly like Albys version 6. Select whole file, export. Okay. Now I'm going to open the ultimate base roster. See that the roster for some reason is sorted by player type, so I'm going to click once on ID. And now that the players are sorted like this, I'm going to save, go to File, Export to CSV, select. I would create a folder right now, but I've already created this one, Ultimate Base Roster version 24, whole file, export. Okay. So we're done with the REditor for now. Let's move to roster merge. Since we're copying from the Albys roster to the ultimate base roster, I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to pick the folder which has my Albys v6 CSVs, and I'm going to pick the ultimate base roster in the 2. Now the categories you pick are really important. Do not pick categories like status, because if you only have the free license of REditor, status will change what teams the game thinks that the player are in, but they won't be transferred to them. So it will be all messed up. So do not pick the status category for any reason if you only have the free version of REditor and aren't doing any teams, any team roster transfers. So for the free version of REditor, what we can do is copy things from the Albys roster like skills, capabilities, tendencies, hotspots, hot zones, animations, and gear. Those are things that Albys does nice for the current players. So we're going to copy those to the ultimate base roster. I'm going to click on do it. And we have to resolve some conflicts. I'm going to select all 3 automation options. They should be safe to pick, excuse me. I'm going to click on replace, and the tool never bothers me about a conflict again. It's pretty much automated, as you can see. So now the files in this folder, UBR v0.4 in my documents test CSV, have been edited. So what I need to do is open the ultimate base roster again, save it under a different name like my UBR v0.4. Okay, As you can see, again, it's for some reason it's sorted by some other category than ID, so always make sure you're working while ID is players are sorted by ID in ascending order 0, 1, 2, 3. This is always important. I'm going now to import. I'm going to make sure I've selected the right folder. This is the folder in the 2. This is the folder that roster merge edited. I'm going to click on import, and we should be done. What can we do for a quick check on what Albys has done? Well, it must have worked. I'm not really sure what I can check. Let me save for now, and we should be done. So now what you've done is use the free version of REditor and roster merge to get the ratings that Albys has put on the current players and the abilities and the tendencies into Ultimate Base Roster. So another thing you could do if you want to use the edited roster that Zhao Smeng made, the Ultimate Base Roster version 24, no retro, you can use that one as a destination roster instead of the full Ultimate Base Roster. Since we're doing this for current players, Albys is current players editor, we can use this as a destination roster quite similarly. Actually, we just have to export to CSV, pick a new folder name, export the whole file again. I make sure that the ID is the players are sorted by ID in ascending order. I click on export. Now I'm going to go to roster merge, change the destination roster, the 2 roster. I'm going to change it to Ultimate Base Roster, no retro. Same categories, same options. I'm going to click on do it again, and we're done. Now I can go back to REditor, import from CSV, UBR no retro, import, and the Albys roster are now in Zhao Smeng's edit of the Ultimate Base Roster that only has the current teams. It's so simple, so easy, nothing to worry about. You should be pretty much done. Now, before we move on to team transfers and all that, let me show you about a common problem that custom rosters have. So there's a particular property of the players, the ASA ID, that has recently been discovered by Vlad to be tied to other things beyond audio. Every player must have his own ID right here, because otherwise box scores may be messed up. You may be seeing players from other teams in your team's box score. So we need to make sure that all the ASA IDs are unique for each player. So what I'm going to do is select everything. You don't have to do this yourself. I'm just going to prove a point right here. I'm copying everything. I'm going to paste it in an Excel worksheet. Yeah, that won't help. Let me do this differently. So we have exported this to CSV, so I'm going to open this CSV instead. Okay, I'm going to go to data, remove duplicates, and select all, then go to ASA ID. This will prove that many rosters have the problem of ASA IDs having duplicates. No duplicate values are found, so we don't have to actually fix the ASA IDs for this roster. This is because this version of the roster of Ultimate Base Roster No Retro version 3.2 was actually made by roster merge, and we have used the repair roster tools on it. So if you're not sure whether you have ASA duplicates or not, let me just show you what you can do to be sure. So there's this new button in this version of Roster Merge called Repair. It has three options. Fix free agents, erase rookie stats, and fix ASA IDs. So what the first one does is, in case the free agents are all messed up, players that are supposed to be in teams are in the free agent pool, and vice versa, this goes through all the teams' rosters and checks which players should be in which team, and every player that isn't on any team becomes a free agent if he's of the proper player type. Erase rookie stats is that after combining some rosters or due to some custom edits you may have made, some rookies may have career stats copied over from other players by mistake. This makes sure that any rookies only have no career stats. That their first year will be their first year in their career stats. And fix ASA IDs is an automated way to make sure there are no ASA ID duplicates and that your result in your combined roster will have no problems with box scores and awards and all that. Very useful features. You should use it. You should use all three of them in your roster. They're really easy to use. You just click on the repair option and it says done. Click on the next repair option. It says done. Click on the next repair option. It says done, and then you go back and import everything from the same folder that is in the 2. The repair options, edit the roster that is in the 2 entry, and when you import you should have no rookies with player stats, with career stats. This is the filter I've put here. If I enable it, it should tell me that there are no such players. As you can see, there are no rookies that have career stats because we fixed that. And if I copied this to Excel and check the ASA IDs again, it would tell me I have no duplicates. So this is what you can do with Roster Merge and the free version of REditor. You can copy player information from one roster like ratings, tendencies and gear and abilities to another roster if the resultant roster has those players. So now the next section of the tutorial is regarding people who have a paid license of REditor. In case you're wondering what the various licenses are, you can go to redmods.com. You can go to purchase, click here to check the various license types. Move down to the NBA 2K12 PC tables, view detail, description. Okay, so as you can see, the free version that costs nothing only allows you to open roster files and edit players. The player license, which is $6, before any discounts you may be eligible for, allows you to open all career saves, association, my player, created legends, season, playoffs files, and also allows you to edit teams and team stats. This is the license you want for Roster Merge in order to transfer team rosters and rookies and transfers and missing players and everything else that we're going to show right now. And if you also want to follow the part of the tutorial where we'll be copying Nick's 2012 draft class detailed rookies into the roster, you need to have the version that allows draft class editing, and that is the developer version. So to make sure, however, that the awards are correct, because fix ASA IDs, the repair option of fix ASA IDs also fixes the awards, so that the players do have a unique ASA ID but also have the proper awards in the awards history. You need to have the Guru license that is $20. So let's reiterate. In short, You need the free version of REditor if you're going to just copy over some player information like skills and tendencies. You need the player license of REditor. If you are going to copy over team rosters and missing players and rookies and all that, you need the developer license of REditor. If you're going to copy over the players from any draft class like Nick's 2012 draft class, and you need the Guru license version if you're going to if you want to edit advanced things like awards. So these are as you can see, you don't need to buy two licenses. If you want to buy the Guru, you don't have to buy the player and developer licenses beforehand. It's $20 and you're done. If you want to buy the developer, you're not going to pay the $6 extra of player. You're only going to pay the $13. So let's assume for now that you have the player license for REditor. Let me close roster merge so we can restart. Let me also close this roster, save the changes we made, and let me show you how you can now get the ultimate base roster rookies and all the transfers and all the missing players into the Albys roster. So I'm going to open the ultimate base roster again. Always make sure that we're sorting by ID. I have no idea why it does that. Why it always sorts by nickname. I'm sorry, Vlad, but this is really annoying. I'm going to export to CSV. I'm going to pick the UBR v0.4 folder, export the whole file. You can close this one. Now open the Albys roster. Export to CSV again. Pick the Albys version 6 roster. Export. Okay. So now I can minimize REditor, open roster merge, and now we're copying from the ultimate base roster to the Albys roster. And what I want from the ultimate base roster is the bio, so I get the updated old years pro, the appearance, so that I have a roster that's compatible with the ultimate base roster portraits pack and the cyber faces that are included with ultimate base roster. I want the status so that players get in the right teams, and also contracts, the updated contracts. And this is important. I'm going to pick current teams to be copied over. Now I'm going to click on do it. Again, I'm informed of conflicts I need to resolve. I'm going to pick all 3 automation options, and I'm not bothered again. Okay, so now we have an Albys roster that has all the edits that Albys has done, plus the rosters from the teams have the players that they have in Ultimate Base Roster version 24, which includes the rookies, any new players, any European signings, any transfers, any signings, and waivers, and everything else that was in version 24. I'm going to repair just to make sure. I'll use all the options. And now I can go to, I'm going to save this with a new name and then import. The roster merge now has edited this folder, so I can go so I select it, make sure whole file is selected, and click on import. We can now check that we've done everything correctly. Let me quickly go to the Pistons. Let me go to the roster. There's 19 players. Albys doesn't have 19 players, so I'm pretty sure we've done this correctly. And here's an ID that's really large to be in the original Albys roster. It's 900, and if I go to that ID in the players tab, I'm going to see it's probably Drummond. Yes, it's Drummond, and there's also Kravtsov, Middleton, Inglis, probably Singler is somewhere here nearby. Every new player that Ultimate Base roster had is also now in the combined roster that you made from Ultimate Base roster and Albys roster. All the current players have their skills and capabilities and tendencies that the Albys roster had, because you didn't select to copy them over from the Ultimate Base roster. So they're just like they were in Albys roster, but now you also have the added players and the updated contracts from Ultimate Base roster and the new portraits and cyber faces and everything from Ultimate Base roster. And you're also not going to have any problems with ASA IDs, because even if I go to the Albys v6, open the player CSV, go to data, remove duplicates, go to ASA ID, no duplicates, so no box scores are going to be messed up. You'll have a full glitch-free combined roster of Ultimate Base roster and Albys. And if you do have the, as we saw, developer license that allows you to open draft class files, you can also get the detailed 2012 rookies from Nick. You open the draft class, export to CSV as always, pick a new folder, whole file as well. As always, check that the players tab is sorted by ascending ID, export, go back to roster merge, still Albys v6 as the 2. I'm going to change the from, select the Nick 2012 rookies, and what I want to copy over is bio, playstyle, not status, stats, skills, capabilities, tendencies, hotspots, hot zones, animation and gear. This is the things, maybe not stats. This is the things that Nick has changed in the players. He's given them proper heights and weights, proper playstyles, skills, tendencies, animations and gear. So we want that to carry over to our combined roster. This is what I want to carry over. So since we're now doing just the rookies, we select none in teams, because the draft class doesn't have any teams, and then click on do it, and we're done. Okay, so after we do this, let's we haven't changed any ASA IDs which are in appearance, so let's just make sure that no rookies have any career stats that they shouldn't have, and we're done with the roster merge. We can go to our editor, go to our roster again, import, select the folder we had into, import, okay, and we're done. So now you have an Ultimate Base roster that also has you have the Albys roster, excuse me, which also has the Ultimate Base roster rookies and all the transfers, and also has the rookies and the rookie edits that Nick did in his great draft class. So that's pretty much what you can do with the roster merge. We've covered all the basics and all the possibilities on how you could use it. If you have any further questions, you can always contact me at the tools thread in the NLC forums in the NBA 2K12 releases and previews. This is the thread, roster merge and repair. Just throw me a reply, ask me whatever you want, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So hope you make some great rosters, and as a final note, as always, just because you've made a great roster doesn't mean you should release it. Always ask for permission from the original creators before releasing anything or setting via PM or whatever. The roster makers deserve our support, and if they don't want us releasing edited works without permission, we shouldn't do it. You can just enjoy the roster yourselves, recommend roster merge and REditor to your friends, and get them to make great rosters themselves as well, but don't release anything without permission. So thanks for watching and have fun.